Alright, YouTube, this video is titled Why You Like to Cheat. I'm going to give a spiritual breakdown and deconstruct from a biblical standpoint why some people, men and women, all demographics and backgrounds and walks of life, why some humans are just attracted to other people's spouses, and why there are some women who only date married and taken men, why there's some men who only date married women and taken women. Breakdown number one. There is a spirit called the spirit of rebellion and the spirit of lust, and I guess you can say the spirit of lasciviousness. All three of these spirits combined forms the foundation of the spirit that basically I'll call it the novelty spirit. All three of those spirits combined form a novelty spirit. And what is a novelty? It's when something when you idealize it or when you fantasize about it, your desire for it is just through the roof. It increases your desire of it. It's kind of like when you see those memes online, well, side by side pictures of what I bought, what I ordered versus what I got. Well, what you ordered, the picture of this very nice outfit from Shein.com looks nice on the model, but when you get it, it's basically some cheap piece of plastic made in Taiwan. They're 2 sizes too small. Well, that's what this thing sort of flows from. It flows from this ideology that what you're looking at is so desirable, it's so, it's so attractive, it's so, it's just worth being coveted to the point where you have to have it. And then this rebellion kicks in when you realize that, hey, this person's spouse, I don't know this person, I don't owe this person anything. Or maybe you do know them, but you feel like you will be better, a better partner than they are. And then the lasciviousness is basically no respect for boundaries, no morals, no nothing. All three of those things combined together, and then you have people who are out here pursuing people who are basically off limits to them. And the reason why you like to cheat is a human thing, but it originally started with Lucifer himself. Okay, let's start off with Adam and Eve, the first two humans who just couldn't keep their hands off of something that they had no business touching. It started off with Eve. So women, this is on us. Satan, the serpent, who came as a serpent, he decided he was going to slither into the garden, slither into Eve's ear, and say, look, what's going on with this fruit over here? You're eating all these fruits, all these plums and pears. What about this apple right here? And it probably wasn't even an apple. I'm just paraphrasing it. What's going on? Did Most High tell you can't eat that? She goes, yeah. He said we can eat every fruit in this garden except for that one. He goes, hey, don't listen to him. You don't really have to listen to that. Just because he said it doesn't mean it's going to happen. What's really going to happen is you're going to end up getting all this knowledge, all this information. And of course, knowledge looks attractive because when someone wants to tell you a secret, or when someone knows something that you don't know, that makes you want to know it. That's just a human thing. We like to have the secrets. We like to have the tea. That's why gossip sites are so popular. We like to be in the know. So to tell me that all I have to do is eat this fruit over here and I'm going to be in the know, and I'm going to have access to this secret database of information, sign me up. That's the human way, right? So forget about the fact that it's forbidden, because now it becomes even more attractive. Not only am I going to get this knowledge, but the added bonus is I get to break the rules and bend the rules and go access it. So the reward outweighs the risk, right? And before you know it, we're accessing something that's completely illegal. Why was it easy for Satan to put that bug in Eve's ear? Because it came from him. He already had the rebellion and lack of respect for boundaries in his spirit. Before he slithered into the earth in the form of a serpent, he was up in the kingdom, in the heavenlies, doing the same thing. He wanted to try to replace the Most High. He saw a position of high-ranking authority and absolute supremacy and sovereignty, and he wanted it, and he knew it was off limits. So he already had the spirit of rebellion. He led a rebellion with 1/3 of the angels, who he took down with him. The fallen, that's how they formed. They formed because they first formed the rebellion before they were cast down to the earth. And then the desirability effect. Who wouldn't want to be the Most High, right? But to all these humans who are trying to play God, and I'm not going to say their names in this video, the last person who tried to be God became Satan, right? But the Most High's throne is off limits. But there are people who are trying to occupy that space, right? Lucifer tried to do it, right? And look at where he ended up. He got his own kingdom, but the lights are off. He got the kingdom of darkness. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of people on this earth too. But anyway, the spirit of lasciviousness. In school, in elementary school, everybody had assigned seats. We even had our names taped onto the back of our chair so that nobody can take our seat, right? But if you have the spirit of lasciviousness and your name is Sarah and you see Amanda's seat, you're going to go plop down right in Amanda's seat because, hey, I can warm this seat up better than she can. Or I want to sit here because it's closer to the board, right? And I don't care if it has her name. I'm just going to sit right here because I have no respect for Sarah whatsoever. I'm just going to occupy her seat. Well, that's what Satan did. He tried to occupy the Most High seat. So, rebellion, right? Desirability and lasciviousness all combined. He put that spirit into Eve, and then that through Eve and Adam, our parents, the parents of the human race, that spirit slid on down throughout the generations, throughout the centuries. And these days, that spirit comes in the form of adultery. That's the basis of adultery. If you're sleeping with someone who has a boyfriend or girlfriend, even if they're not married, the underlying concept is still the same. You want them just because you know they're off limits. And you have a spirit of rebellion, lasciviousness, and you desire things that are off limits. That's the basis of it. That's the reason why you like to cheat. This is an ancient spirit. It's been around since the beginning of time, literally. It's been around since Adam and Eve. It came afterward. Cain and that spirit slid through Cain and Abel. Cain wanted something that was well, I won't say it was off limits because he could have gained access to favor from the Most High, but he decided he'll just kill his brother anyhow to try to get it, and he still didn't get favor. But the bottom line is that spirit of rebellion came from Eve and Adam and went to their children, and so forth and so forth. But the point I'm trying to make is people who are always attracted to the forbidden and the off limits, and the people who always want somebody else's woman, someone else's man. And I know some people who are perpetually, I'm not talking about had an affair once or, a handful of times, or they accidentally dated someone who they didn't know was involved. I'm talking about people who are actively looking for that. There's websites like Ashley Madison, sites where they're purposely hooking up people who are already partnered or married who purposely are looking to step out, and there are people on there who are willing to accommodate them. This is a whole industry, multi-million-dollar industry of, hey, you're not supposed to be with this person, but come and pair up with them anyway. That's the spirit behind that. The reason why you like to cheat is because you have that same spirit. You have that same spirit. The serpent brought it to Eve. Eve passed it on down to her children, and we are her children, right? Some people just want something just because they know they're not supposed to have it. And it all came from the serpent, and everybody knows who the serpent is. So, we make little jokes and we make songs and we turn side chicking into a culture and boyfriend number 2. But, it's catchy on the radio and it's funny to talk about as long as you're not the one getting cheated on, right? And, we turn this into, we're desensitized to it. We got shows like Scandal where you got Olivia Pope and, she's running around with the handsome, powerful, married president, and this is a whole thing, right? It's a whole niche in entertainment and in music. And, of course, entertainment and music is very influential, so it has an impact on humans, on people. So pop culture, we've ingratiated that in, and now we're going around sleeping with people's spouses just because we saw Olivia Pope and them do it, right? But that's the spirit behind that. The spiritual breakdown, it all boils down to rebellion, and it all goes back to the days of the serpent when he led the rebellion before he became the serpent when he was Lucifer. That spirit of wanting something that you're not supposed to have, whether it's someone's spouse, someone's job, someone's car, someone else's money, someone's jewelry, clothing, whatever it is, that I'm going to touch this just because I know it belongs to someone else, and it becomes all the more attractive to you just for that reason. That all comes from the spirit of the serpent. That's the spiritual breakdown right there. That alone right there, that should be enough. If you have any spiritual cognizance, if you have any fear of God, if you know the Most High is real, and you know that there's going to be consequences once you leave this earth for what you did on this earth, that alone should be enough. The source alone should be enough. Some people don't even know why they're attracted to married people, all right, or why they're attracted to someone else's girlfriend or boyfriend. That's why that spirit came through Eve, and Eve got it from the snake, right? So instead of getting attracted to these off-limits people, then find out the hideous source of it and automatically disassociate yourself with it. Distance yourself, want nothing to do with it. Don't even entertain the idea of it, right? There's a reason why some people want, their best friend's boyfriend. There's a reason why some people want their cousin's husband, or their mom's husband, or the neighbor's husband, or their co-worker's baby daddy. You want these people not just because they're physically attractive. It's much more to it than that. We're in a physical body, but we're spiritual beings. There's a spirit in you or in that other person that only wants to step out, because the spirit of rebellion, lasciviousness, and constantly wanting what's off limits, all three of those spirits stirred up that came through Eve, and Eve got it from the serpent. And that alone right there, knowing the source of that spirit, that should be enough for you to cast it off and cast it away. Go through a deliverance if you have to. I recommend Apostle Ivory Hopkins through the Pilgrim Ministry. I'm going to put a link to his ministry down below. I've done deliverance with him twice. He's excellent. He's a general. But go through deliverance if you have to. But that's a spiritual breakdown of why humans love to cheat. We love to cheat because at the root of it's a spirit of rebellion. And Satan, aka Lucifer, he was the first rebel. And now we're down here mimicking him when we know better. So just something to think about the next time you are eyeing that woman who you know is married, or that man who you know has a girlfriend. Think about what's driving you to that person. They're only desirable to you because you know you're not supposed to have them. And that's all. And that's it. That's all, folks. See you next video.